rival here. Like, no stops.
We're going straight through to South Bend.
Take him to South Bend,
November 7th. I mean, not for nothing. This is our third Week 10 game we've drafted so far between the two of us.
It's going to be a week.
Week 10, if you have plans, cancel them now. Even if you might have plans, cancel them now. Block out November 7th. Block out that entire week just to get yourself mentally right. It was a playoff deciding game last year for the Irish. The Irish should and do feel some type of way about being left out in favor of Miami. If you're Miami now, you go on the road, crispy spot against Notre Dame, under touchdown Jesus, new look offense with Darian Mensah, wheeling and dealing CJ Carr, who apparently lit up the Manning Passing Academy. Again, quarterback duel, quarterback matchup. These two guys, there should be points you would like to hope for if you're a fan of.
What to do, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Dynasty Reaction. I'm your host, Hurricane Mike, and today we're talking one of the marquee matchups of the year, Notre Dame versus Miami. I got JD and the On 3 crew. They gonna break down what they think, and then, of course, I'll be back with my commentary. Let's do it.
7th. I mean, not for nothing. This is our third Week 10 game we've drafted so far between the two of us.
It's going to be a week.
Week 10, if you have plans, cancel them now. Even if you might have plans, cancel them now. Block out November 7th. Block out that entire week just to get yourself mentally right. It was a playoff deciding game last year for the Irish. The Irish should and do feel some type of way about being left out in favor of Miami. If you're Miami now, you go on the road, crispy spot against Notre Dame, under touchdown Jesus, new look offense with Darian Mensah, wheeling and dealing CJ Carr, who apparently lit up the Manning Passing Academy. Again, quarterback duel, quarterback matchup. These two guys, there should be points you would like to hope for if you're a fan of points like we are on this show, or at least me. Maybe not you as being a defensive guy.
I like points. I love defense, but it's about balance.
It's going to be so fun.
I like yin and yang.
It's going to be
we'll
so
see it
fun
in this game. Yeah,
I don't think it needs much explanation. Playoff stakes, quarterback duel, great rosters. Two teams too that let's call a spade here. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw these two teams play again in the playoff.
Yeah.
I don't think the loser is out by any stretch of the imagination this year, assuming they both show up unblemished, which is a big assumption. I can't wait for this one. It speaks for itself. Revenge game, juice, logos, Miami Notre Dame. My non-conference pick.
Yeah, I think picking Notre Dame's game, first of all, every Notre Dame game is a non-conference game, so
sure.
We've got some flexibility there. I think picking any season, especially in this Marcus Freeman era we're about to have, if you pick in any kind of draft, the premier Notre Dame game, their headliner, you can't go wrong with that, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the thing that makes this one so special is the storyline surrounding it from last season. You talk about a Notre Dame team that you can't imagine they're not emptying the tank for this one, right? I think we were going to see Notre Dame play as hard as we've seen. This is a team that's coming off a playoff run 2 years ago. They're going to empty the tank. I think the chip on the shoulder is going to be bigger than it's ever been. This is their national championship in the regular season, given the stakes, given the storylines, given how last year went. Great pick. As soon as I picked my non-conference game, I knew this was going to be the one you picked next for sure. And I think just the earliness of it is the reason why I picked mine first. Could maybe one of these teams stub their toe before this? Yeah. Can't really see it, though. And even one loss, I think, would even just add to the stakes of this one. This game's going to be electric. The only thing bad about it is I wish it was sooner, JD.
Yeah,
it would be awesome.
It's just tough when you have, you don't complain about having an awesome slate, but there is some part of me that feels like, okay, we got that to keep track of. We got Oregon, Ohio State to keep track of. We got the Holy War to keep track of. I believe LSU A&M play, or not LSU A&M. It's A&M South Carolina. I believe LSU Bama play. It is a buffet of college football excellence. Matchup I can't wait to watch in this game, Cato. Is this the best pure secondary versus weapons matchup we have the entire year? You got Malachi Tony, Cooper Barcade, you got Bronte Johnson, other side, you got Leonard Moore for Notre Dame, and they're going to play man coverage. So it's going to be, as you call, cat coverage. Take your cat and let's roll. I got man on man. This is going to be so fun to watch those two sides go back.
I love that matchup. I get it. Notre Dame has a great secondary, but if that's how Notre Dame going to roll out of that matchup one-on-one, I love our wide receivers.
I hope we get good enough weather to throw the football. I think it's going to be awesome to watch that battle.
This kind of, it's far away from this game now, but this smells like Leonard Moore following Malachi Tony around for this game, right? Yes, Cooper Barcade's a problem, but when you have a guy like Malachi Tony that's been such a game breaker and had so many big plays last year as a true freshman, he's going to be in that single digit one this year. this might be one coverage. Hey, maybe 15, you're following one this whole game. Like we need baby Jesus in the manger for this game. We need you to put the straps on him. We need you to keep him in one spot, keep him contained, stay over the top. So I'm excited about that. I didn't think about the secondary of it all compared to the weapons. And I think Darian Mensah, man, this is going to be a huge opportunity for him to show what he's about. I have no doubts about Darian Mensah, but I think if he shows that he can get what he got off at Tulane, at Duke, in this game for Miami against a defense like this, I think all bets are off as far as what Miami can do in the postseason. We saw what it was last year with Carson Beck, but if you have a guy in Darian Mensah that I think is underrated as far as an NFL prospect and the NFL level throws he makes and how much responsibility was on him at Duke, he's going to have the help of a run game and a defense. Like Kurt Signetti said, Darian Mensah is going to have new best friends as well, given what Duke had last year. And that's a team that's still found a way to win the conference. So I think this is going to be a Darian Mensah kind of a rival game for the national masses. I think we all know in-house and they know in-house what Darian Mensah is about. But I think people are going to see potentially what he does in this game and it announces, hey, okay, I should be talked about as a top NFL draft pick, just like the Arch Mannings and Dante Moores of the world.
So I got a coordinator question for you here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to stop it right there. And once again, great video by JD and the On3 crew. And before we get out of here, hey, what more can I say? That will be the marquee matchup of the year in my book, Notre Dame versus Miami. Now, we don't know how the season will go. There will be upsets here. People will slide up and down the polls. So we don't know as far as will there be other matchups bigger than Miami and Notre Dame. But in my book, so far, Notre Dame and Miami is the biggest matchup of the year. And like they said, for Notre Dame, this game is very important. You're not in the conference, and Miami is the biggest team on your schedule coming inside your place. And this is a revenge game from last year. And of course, I expect Notre Dame to be ready to be fired up to revenge last year. They have a lot riding on this game. Like I said, they don't have the best of schedules. So when you have a team like Miami come in, you definitely got to take advantage. So like I say, I expect my Notre Dame to give us our best shot. As far for us, we'll be already be tested on the road, already going to Clemson. So playing on the road in front of a hostile crowd should not be nothing. Same for us. This is the game of the year also. I know we got Clemson and other foes on the schedule, but this is the game that we have circled. This will be the biggest game of the year. And like the video said, if Darian Mensah goes out and lights up the scoreboard, and if Miami's playing well going into the game, then you could book it. He will be in New York. So this is a game for his Heisman candidacy is also riding on this game. There will be so much going on this game, different headlines. They also spoke on the Notre Dame great secondary. They have a lot of great cover guys on the back end. Number 15, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a great cover corner going up against Cooper Barquette, Malachi Tony, Joshua Moore, and those other guys. That will be a game inside the game. Like I said in the video, despite Notre Dame having a great secondary, I truly believe our wide receivers will come out on top in that matchup, and that will cement Darian Mensah as the best player in the nation because our wide receivers will come through for him. But man, I cannot wait. We're a little ways away. We got a lot of things to play out. We got to see how both teams look up to the end. I expect both teams to play great. I expect both teams to come in with 0, possibly 1 loss. But I just simply can't wait. This will be the game of the year. So everybody stay locked and loaded for this one. Well, to the next time, Dynasty Reaction Network. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, and pretty please leave all comments below. And always remember, it's always about the you.
Ronette's play. Going downfield for Thrill Hill at the 20, to the 10, touchdown Miami. Come on back, Randall. Come on back. Well, we talked about the older, more experienced Miami team. This quarter's on child abuse. Look at Thrill Hill.
Behavior, perfect.
to you, Jim Nantz.
What to do, YouTube?
All right, Doc.
We're doing something a little different tonight. We headed down the throwback lane, 91 Cotton Bowl. The smash in the Texas.
He's their top receiver.
There go them dogs.
Miami's first appearance in the
There go them dogs. There go them dogs.
Dennis Erickson, his second
Coach
season
Erickson.
in Miami. Miami players have come out to watch him exit the ramp.
Real throwback football right here.
Look at the mind game by Miami.
Waiting for them boys.
They're saying, hey, we're accustomed to this. They walked right out of the field, and Miami was watching. And Chris Samuels on the return for Texas. Kick comes to Samuels.
You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Wow.
Smashed at the 14.
Sleep.
Robert
He's sleep.
knocked him down hard. At
He
the
is
14.
sleep. He is sleep. Wow.
Right there, helmet to helmet. And that's the
Put
one
him
with
to
the
sleep.
cobwebs up there in a hurry.
Put him to sleep. Ah, kill you. Lamar Thomas.
on the catch at the 20.
Lamar Thomas
And out to the 33-yard line.
definitely was a playmaker for the year.
Brian Jones on the
One of the
tackle
best.
for a gain of 14. Field second and 26. Erickson
Wow.
again, and there's Carroll. And right.
Huh.
Spencer. First down, Miami.
As you can see, even back then, man, we just had so much speed everywhere.
24. Motion on 2nd and 9.
He jumped.
Randy Bethel in a tight end. Erickson has a man open. Did it get there
Darryl.
one hop? He got it. Sent this year, Huerta. He's a great one. This is 28 yards away.
And I was 7 years old, 8 years old when this game was played, but I remember it.
Miami drives on his first possession, and that's a field goal from Carlos Huerta.
3-0.
Down from the 3.
Come on. Look at the team speed.
No game.
We always had team speed. Even back then, always had team speed.
Joe Moore on the hole.
Huh?
Kick, is it long enough?
There it is.
Yes,
Good.
it's good.
6-0.
Left. Now we're going out of the backfield.
Go kill the quarterback. Oh,
Gardere felt the heat from Darren Smith first.
he didn't have a
Pass beat
chance.
the Sooners. 2nd and 15.
Oh, my goodness.
Another sack. Russell
Back to
Merrill.
back. Russell Miller, of course, the #1 draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys.
Splits the double team, and then with one arm, his left arm, he takes Gardere down.
Shout out to the shot.
Play action, bootleg.
Ah.
Carroll's open
Oh.
and has it out of bounds at the Texas 36. They helped recruit, had not. 2nd down and 9. Play
Come on.
action. Gardere goes down and fumbles.
Ball.
Maryland paused it.
Ball. Come here.
Covered inside the 10 by
Come here.
Miami.
Ball on the ground. Ooh, woo.
He
My boy
already had
seeing
one
ghosts
sack.
right now.
Watch it in a second. Watch this, Jim. Again, it's Russell Maryland, the Outland Trophy. Watch him break.
Ah,
They try to set a
good
double
swim
team.
move.
One guy runs out, and he just comes through and strips him.
Woo.
He's big. He's strong. Shunned the NFL last
I see
year.
why he was the
Wanted to
#1
stay.
draft
Was
pick.
heavily recruited out of high school. Came into Miami over 300 pounds. He worked. Nobody really gave him a chance, and all of a sudden he's down at 270, and he turns into an All-American. That's a fantastic play. His third big play of this
That was a
ball
hell of a
game.
move.
And Alex Johnson has come in.
Get to the end zone. Get to the end zone.
Eric
Spin on you.
Nice
Spin on you.
touchdown. Miami.
Touchdown. Spin on you. Spin on you.
14 for Texas.
Come here.
Whoa, boy.
Russell
Make it 5.
Maryland.
I'll tell you, Timmy, you come from near the Baltimore area, and you're very familiar with Maryland crab cakes. This is what you call a Maryland pancake. Inside of the tin,
oh my goodness, look at this.
Or if you want to get more graphic, this is a butt buster right here. Gardere's been doing that one for a while. Not only the hit, but then when he takes him to the ground, just pile drives it. Second down for Texas. Walker dropped for a loss.
Michael Barrow, oh my goodness.
Third down 5 for Texas. Gardere with time this time.
Oh, hit.
By Bailey at the 30.
Hit.
Bailey to the 25 and down at the 20. Tackled by Stephen Clark. He really wants to. Sees the pressure. Now here's the tip.
Man, that man wanted to get that ball out of his hands as quick as he could.
Reminds him of Klinkler. Right down to the jersey number. Second down, Erickson looking in zone for Carroll.
Oh.
Touchdown, Miami.
Let the party begin. Let the party begin.
Boy, what an 142 straight. What an outstanding read this time by Erickson. Not that he sees Carroll with one-on-one coverage out there, but that he picked up the blitz. Texas came right back with the same play, only this time from the left side. They brought Brian Jones, the linebacker, again. They picked it up. They read it. They went to a quick dump. They went down deep to Carroll, and there he is, wide open. No shot for the safety, the free safety, Stanley Richard, to get over and help the corner.
Come on.
Again, they get to Gardere, but they may have grabbed him by the face mask. Right, Harry Cash, keep Cash to the left.
Go.
There he is. Oh, there he is. Cash.
Out of bounds.
That's when he made the catch. And he's knocked out again by Bailey. Boy, I'm telling you, Bailey showed up today with bad intentions, and that's
good. Okay, we're going to stop it right there. And if you want to watch the rest of this game, head over to King Freak 2001, and you can catch the rest of the clip. But I just want to give you the game overview. It says, played at the Cotton Bowl Stadium in Dallas, Texas, before a crowd of 73,521. The game quickly turned into the most one-sided victory in the event's history. While Miami dominated on the scoreboard, the game is primarily attached in college football lore for extreme trash-talking, celebration, and physical play. Miami was flagged a record 16 times for 202 penalty yards, many due to unsportsmanlike conduct. This behavior directly inspired the NCAA to institute the strict Miami rule later that year, penalized excessive player celebrations with a 15-yard foul. And definitely one of the, I don't care what they say, one of the brightest moments in Miami football history, only because everybody was talking Texas lore and Texas this and Texas that. And for them guys to go up there, you know, the season was kind of disappointing because we had 2 losses, really had a chance to play for the national championship. But unfortunately, you know, the referees always get involved in our games. So we came up short in a couple of games. But we went out there, we took it out on Texas. Russell Maryland showed everybody why that game primarily is the reason why, you know, he had a great season. He was the Outlet Trophy winner, but that game was one of the reasons why he was the #1 draft pick by the Dallas Cowboys, and really just showed the dominance of Miami football back in the day. When we played like that, man, we were unstoppable. No team in the country could stop us. And we went up to Texas in '91 and had to show them that Miami football is for real and it's serious. And I noticed ever since then, I've been watching Miami football all my life. We haven't played Texas since that embarrassment. You know, they definitely don't want any pressure, and they ain't gonna want no pressure this year, even with Art Manning. But hey, that's just my opinion. Well, to the next time, Dynasty Reaction Network. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, and please leave all comments below so this channel can grow. And always remember, it's always about the you.
The aforementioned best freshman receiver in the country last season in Malachi Toney, plus the addition of Cooper Barkate, who we talked about coming from Duke, who was Mensa's top receiver there. The Canes can expect a lot of quick passes to these 2 dudes.
What to do, my good people? Welcome to another episode of Dynasty Reactions, where we talk everything Miami Hurricane football. And today we're talking Darian Mensah, the $10 million transfer porter from Duke. Yeah, my man is coming to Miami, and hopefully he can lead us back to a national championship. We got YouTuber and former college quarterback Max Browning. He going to break down some of Darian Mensah film from last year, and then I'll get back with my commentary.
Threw more deep shots in 2025 than Darian Mensah. Here he's going to hit Cooper Barkate, who also transferred with him to Miami. So get used to seeing more of this. Gives you a little flavor for his game. This is a bust by the defense, but you can see Darian Mensah dropping it into the bucket. We'll get a back view here. Don't love his footwork here. More on that later. But deep ball accuracy, putting it where it needs to be. Now, when we look at the deep passes, you can see there's a gap between him and the Heisman finalists. And that comes down to just efficiency. And a huge part of getting more efficient with downfield passes, or really any passes, but especially the ones that are pushing the ball down the field, is getting the run game going. Indiana had the 6th ranked run game in the country. Ohio State was at 25th, and then Duke sat at 38th. You would think that Miami is an upgrade in terms of the support that Mensah has around him. And if Miami has anywhere near the offensive line they did last year, that means that defenses are going to have to put an extra guy in the box, which then means you have more one-on-one matchups on the outside, which should help the efficiency of the downfield passing. The other big thing that helps efficiency, and Julian Sane can attest to this, is having elite receivers. Headlined by the aforementioned best freshman receiver in the country last season in Malachi Toney, plus the addition of Cooper Barkate, who we talked about coming from Duke, who was Mensah's top receiver there. The Canes can expect a lot of quick passes to these two dudes who excel in open space. And Mensah is efficient with the quick screen game. He completed 92.5% of his passes that were completed behind the line of scrimmage. This right here was my favorite screen design because it doesn't look like a screen. You got a takeoff route right here. You got a little slow get off, slot fade route. That slow get off matters because you have Barkate coming on what looks like a drag, but really he's going to be behind the line of scrimmage. Because he's behind the line of scrimmage, it allows this slot receiver to go on what also looks like a shallow, but it's really just a pick route. And he's trying to rub the defender that's on top of Barkate. And remember, sometimes I feel like people on their couch don't always realize this. If the receiver catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, then the other receivers can block downfield. So when we let this play, look at Barkate. Look how he gets behind the line of scrimmage. Mensah's going to get depth with his drop. Illinois, Russian 5, little pick route, easy first down. Highly advised installing that at home. Why does that play work so well? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys rushing, not 4. You only had 4 guys rushing, and this linebacker was able to drop back into this zone. It would be a lot harder to execute this offensive play. Yo, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid and hit the subscribe and like button down below. As the channel grows, those resources get poured back into making better videos for you guys. So I appreciate you watching and enjoy the rest of the vid. Although Mensah isn't an explosive threat with his legs, he only had negative 32 rushing yards this year. He does have the ability to navigate the pocket, scramble around, and at least keep the defense honest with his legs. I'm very wary of making this comp because it's an easy trap to fall into, being like, ooh, is he the next Cam Ward? But from a mobility perspective, I think it's very comparable. And remember, Cam Ward rushed for 200 yards in 2024. That was the most of any of the 4 years that he started in college football. Obviously, only 1 year at Miami. But I do think it's fair to say mobility-wise, they are similar. And this right here is going to give you flashbacks to Cam Ward. He's got a hitch on the top of the screen. He's got a little slot fade. I actually don't even really know what that slot receiver is doing. I think it's a slot fade. You got a dig route by this receiver who's ultimately going to catch this touchdown. And then you got the tight end on a little control route. 2 things jump out to me right here. First, for any Florida fans in the chat, this is great disguise by John Summerall's defense. It looks like a too high structure right here. And on the snap of the ball, they're going to go one rat, which means one safety is the rat defender, basically just kind of doing whatever he wants on the interior of the defense. And then you have the one high single safety who's going to drop back here. All the other defenders are man coverage across the board. Mensah sees this safety drop, so then he works towards the other side. The only problem is this safety's driving on the dig route. And you'll see the dig route then turns into a scramble drill, recess football. Darian Mensah makes a great throw. Second thing I want you to watch right here, look at how early Mensah throws this football. Dig's not there, scrambles out, ball's out. That's big time because if he's late at all, he's going to run out of real estate. Watch it one more time. And a little bonus point, look at him talking trash to his old head coach. Remember, he played for Tulane 2 seasons ago. Look at him bottom of the screen, talking to John Sumrall. I'm like, yo, you missed that throw. But in low-key, Tulane won this game, so tough luck. I also think Canes fans can expect far fewer turnovers in 2026. In 2025, Carson Beck had a 2.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio, throwing 12 picks. Mensa, on the other hand, had a 7 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio, throwing only 6 interceptions on over 500 attempts. Even with all the strengths, there's a couple areas to Mensa's game that I think needs to improve, especially in
Okay, we're going to stop it right there. And that's a great video. You can head over to Max Browning and check the rest of the video. And before we get out of here, man, I want to read this to you guys. It says the $10 million mega offer. After leading the Duke Blue Devils to an outright ACC championship, Mensa was targeted by Miami head coach Mario Cristobal and offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson to lead the Hurricanes offense. Miami reported extending a staggering $10 million NIL offer, widely described as an offer he couldn't refuse. Well, duh, to pull the star quarterback to Coral Gables. And man, that's the power of money. Once again, for the 3rd straight year, the Miami Hurricanes has landed the number 1 guy in the transfer portal, this time Darian Mensa, and giving him an outrageous $10 million. Hey, man, I think it's going to be well-deserved. I think Darian Mensa, and I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep repeating it, has a chance to do the Triple Crown, which is win the ACC, which is win the national championship, which is win the and be the first pick overall in the NFL draft. I think Darian Mensa also maybe 4, also win the Heisman. I think Darian Mensa with the type of talent he has around him is going to fly high. I think Shannon Dawson, the type of offense he liked to run, you know, he probably put the reins in, and I keep saying again, he put the reins in a little bit last year with Carson Beck because Carson Beck probably couldn't do all the things that the offense needed him to do. But now he got a guy like Cam Ward, and he's right. As far as Stremlin, they are both the same. They're not going to run for 5, 6 to 1,000 yards. They're not no running quarterback, but they know how to manipulate the pocket. And if they got to go get a first down with their legs, they can. But it's always pass first. And when you got guys like Cooper Burkett, and then you got baby Jesus, Malachi Tony, there's no need for him to be running. He needs to be distributing the ball, getting it out of his hands quickly, so those guys can hurry up and get down the field and make plays. Honestly, you know, he has the capability to make a lot of big-time throws. But when you got these type of weapons, man, a lot of dink and dunk. You know what I'm saying? Just get it to their hands, throw it 3 or 4 yards, and let them run the other 75, 80. But, hey, that's just my opinion. Well, to the next time, Dynasty Reaction. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, and pretty please leave all comments below so this channel can grow. You already know.
Comes in for some big high leverage downs, or is Damon Wilson going to be somebody who can dominate on every down? Because with Ruben Bain, Anakeem Messidor, and others gone from that group, and there is a lot of room for you to be able to step in and hit the ground running. Now, the good news for Miami is I do think that behind him there is enough talent. I think they've developed and recruited the defensive line well enough that they can still accomplish a lot of their goals. But when we talk about Miami taking the next
What to do, my good people? Welcome to another episode of Dynasty Reactions, where we talk everything Hurricane football. And today, we're talking defense. Yeah, the Hurricanes got a little bit of holes to fill, losing those 2 great pass rushers. I got a clip from CBS Sports breaking down the Hurricane defense for 2026. We're going to watch this clip, and then I'll be back with my commentary. Let's get into it.
It obviously comes to mind here for me, David, but what other questions does the defense need to address for you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with linebacker. And, you know, the reason why I say that is Miami has 2 guys that are veterans, right? You have an 8-year linebacker in Motore, 8-year again. And then you have a 6-year guy in Chase Smith, who's kind of getting the opportunity to go from rotational player to starter. Now, the reason why I think those guys are worth highlighting is Motore is in his 8th year because he's had a history of injuries at the college level, and he's never played back-to-back full seasons in recent years. So staying healthy, being durable is a question for Motore. I think if he's on the field, he's a fine middle linebacker. Chase Smith, he's also had injury concerns during his career as the weak side linebacker. But he's also never played in a starter role. But if he's healthy, he showed signs in the springs that he's ready to take that next step forward as well at linebacker. So I'm going with the linebacker position as one to watch on defense.
I'm going to step up to Damon Wilson, a name we just saw right there at the edge rushing position. My question is he a luxury or a leader? Is he somebody who just comes in for some big high leverage downs? Or is Damon Wilson going to be somebody who can dominate on every down? Because with Ruben Bain, Anakeem Messidor, and others gone from that group, and there is a lot of room for you to be able to step in and hit the ground running. Now, the good news for Miami is I do think that behind him there is enough talent. I think they've developed and recruited the defensive line well enough that they can still accomplish a lot of their goals. But when we talk about Miami taking the next step, talking about winning that national championship, Damon Wilson, who had a good season at Missouri last year, started his career at Georgia. The talent is there. Just playing on this very talented, very solid defense unlock his next step, because that could really help take this defense over the top.
And that's truly what they want, is to take this team over the top. Last year made it all the way to the national championship, a heartbreaking loss, of course, to Indiana. So, Chip, as we mentioned, that schedule begins.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there, man. Quickly, man, I'm going to show you what Miami must replace during the 2025. The duo Capon, and we talking Bain and Messidor, for over 100 quarterback pressures and finished second nationally among all defensive end pairs. Ruben Bain Jr., 2025, reported 54 tackles, 15 and a half tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks, and 1 interception, and generated 67 total pressures. Bain was also a consensus All-American, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and won the Ted Hendricks Award as the top nation defensive end. Anakeem Messidor logged 46 tackles, 17 and a half tackles for loss, 12 and a half sacks, leading the ACC, and 4 forced fumbles. He rushes 55 total pressures and was named a second-team All-American, as he should. And that's going to be the key. Can Miami replace those two guys? And I think they have the talent. And one person in particular, and that would be Marquise Lightfoot. I think this kid can be a terror. I know they brought in Damon Wilson, but I'm looking for Marquise Lightfoot to be that pass rusher, that guy that offenses have to prepare for each and every week. You look at his body. He has a wide receiver slim body. He has a motor of a wide receiver. And this guy can just put on a tad little bit more weight. I think Marquise Lightfoot could be every much more effective than Ruben Bain Jr. and Anakeem Messidor. And now you bring over this kid, Damon Wilson, and put him on a pair. And I think Moulton could be the best defensive tackle in the nation. Him and Justin Scott could be one of the best defensive tackle tandem in the nation. I think those two guys up the middle is going to make the teams very rough, very tough to run on us. So while I don't think they have the names just yet, I think by the end of the year, everybody's going to be talking about this kid, Marquise Lightfoot, and Justin Moulton, and I can't think of the other kid name, and Scott. Moulton and Scott on the inside are going to be dominant. I think so. I think our defense is going to be okay. I think this year is going to be more offensive team. I think we're going to be led more by our offense, but best to believe this defense is going to be flying around. Corey Levin, we're going to have these guys making plays out here. So I definitely look for our defense to be effective and be a stable catalyst for us to win in the national championship. Well, and I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. Well, to the next time, Dynasty Reactions. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and pretty please leave all those comments below. You already know.
It's time to be even more fired up about Darian Mensah to Cooper Barkett. You're saying, JD, we were juiced before. No, I'm telling you, take it up a couple notches. Emerald style. Take it up to 11. There is no limit here. We're seeing Darian Mensah drop dimes to Cooper Barkate during the spring game. Should elicit all the emotion there is on the positive side for 2026.
Yeah! If you from Miami, stand up! Stand up! Do your part! The you! We run the state!
What it do, my good people? Welcome to another episode of Dynasty Reactions, where we talk everything Miami Hurricanes football. And today, we're talking the offensive side of the ball, probably the most explosive unit in all of college football. I got a little video clip. They're going to break down the Miami offense, and then I'll be back with my commentary. Let's get it.
At number 4 for us, Dalton, is the school that Indiana beat in the national title game. That is the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, no, I mean, this team at the skill positions, there are very few, if any, that are more loaded at the skill spots than this team. You know, they made a national title game and almost won it last year with Carson Beck at quarterback, and we both agree. We think that they've upgraded at quarterback, going and getting Darian Mensah, the Power Four's leading passer last season, led Duke to an ACC title. You look at what he's throwing to in Malachi Toney, an absolute superstar, top 10, top 5 player in college football at any position. Cooper Barkate coming over with him from Duke, so he's already got that chemistry. Vandrevius Jacobs from South Carolina, Cam Vaughn from West Virginia. That's as good a front forward wide receiver as you could possibly ask for. And then when you look at their running back room, Mark Fletcher, top 10 back in the country. Marty Brown, really solid number 2. Gerard Pringle, an explosive number 3 option. You got 3 good backs and 4 great wide receivers, plus a top 10 quarterback. You can't ask for much more than that. The only question we have about Miami, they lost 4 starters on a great offensive line, including a first-round pick in Francis Mauanoa, right? So that's never easy to replace. You feel good about a school like the Miami Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal getting that done and just getting those guys to execute well enough for all the skill guys to succeed. But I think that's the only thing that keeps them from being in the top 3 is just this offensive line, right? And it's just not that they'll be bad, because they're probably going to be pretty darn good with those guys coaching them. They just lost so much from the previous unit, right? So I think when you look at that, that's the one question. But they're as loaded at the skill spots as any team. I mean, there's no reason to believe that they shouldn't score 35-plus points every single week.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a top 10 quarterback in Darian Mensah, like you mentioned before, which I think actually is an upgrade over Carson Beck, which is saying a lot because Carson Beck was really good last year and almost won a national title for Miami last year, too. 8th best running back unit in the country, too, led by Mark Fletcher Jr., the best receiving core in college football, in our opinion, with Malachi Toney and Cooper Barkate leading it. You got Shannon Dawson back at offensive coordinator. And you mentioned it before, the one question mark is the offensive line, with 4 new starters on that offensive line, but losing superstars on that offensive line, namely Francis Mauanoa, a top 10 pick in the draft. But if any school, Dalton, is going to lose 4 starters on the offensive line, I'd want it to be Miami, because I really trust Mario Cristobal, head coach, who's got an offensive line background. Alex Mirabal is one of the best O-line coaches in college football right now. They produce elite results on that side of the ball, no matter who's really playing for them. And I cannot freaking wait, man, for Jackson Cantwell and his true freshman year at left tackle for Miami. He's projected to start at left tackle this year. He was the number 1 overall player coming out of high school, one of the highest rated offensive linemen of all time coming out in the recruiting era as well. He won Gatorade National Player of the Year as a senior in high school as an offensive lineman. You never, ever see, I think he's the second ever offensive lineman to win Gatorade National Player of the Year. It's really an award that's always dominated by a quarterback or a running back or maybe a crazy defensive player. You never see offensive line. It's like basically an offensive lineman winning MVP. That's insane. So Jackson Cantwell, man, cannot wait to see what he does as a true freshman. He has all the makings of being an absolute megastar along the offensive line, and we'll see if he can be that immediately for Miami too. So yeah, there are question marks with that offensive line, but again, with those 2 coaches, Mario Cristobal and Alex Mirabal, and with the talent they have on the offensive line too, I have faith that it will at least perform as a really good unit next year.
Okay, we're going to stop it right there. And I went ahead and asked Google AI to give me a 2026 prediction of the Miami offense, and this is what it gave me. It says the Miami offense will average between 38 and 42 points a game, 480 to 520 yards, 315 to 340 passing yards, and 165 to 180 in rushing. And I agree with all those numbers. I also agree with the video I think this offense is going to be explosive. They had them at number 4. I can't really think an offense that's better than this. Maybe Oregon and Texas, they might be explosive offense, but Miami is set to have a phenomenal year on offense. They have all the keys. Now, the question mark they was touching on the video is the offensive line, but I believe with Mario Cristobal and the offensive line, Alex, I don't want to screw up his last name, they're going to have this offensive line humming. I said in the previous video, they got a soft earlier schedule. They start with Stanford. They got a couple of cupcakes, Central Michigan. I think they got a HBCU school thrown in there. I think it's Florida A&M. So, again, it all sets up by the time they see Notre Dame, this offensive line should be clicking on all cylinders. And, yeah, I think Miami offense will be a top 5 offense in the nation. Again, I expect 35 to 45 points a game. I expect 450 to 550 offensive yards a game. They just have too many weapons. They have too many guys who can make play. They have explosive playmakers at the wide receiver position. Maybe the best wide receiver room in all of college football, led by Malachi Tony and Cooper Barquette. So it's going to be a great year for Miami, barring any injuries. I think Miami is set to have a phenomenal year on offense. But, hey, that's just my opinion. Well, to the next time, Dynasty Reaction. And make sure you like, subscribe, share, and pretty please leave all comments below so this channel can grow. And always forget, it's all about the you.
It's all about the you. It's all about the you. You say it. It's all about the you. 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 You say it.
What's going on, YouTube? We back with another one. Dynasty Reaction. We got the 1990 Sugar Bowl. Number 2, Miami. Number 7, Alabama. And after the night, Miami will capture its 3rd national title. The team is led by quarterback Craig Erickson, Leon Stacy, Cortez Kennedy, Randall Thrill Hill, and Russell Maryland. And the team is coached by Coach Dennis the Menace Erickson. Let's get into these highlights.
3rd and 9. Erickson throws out of bounds intended for Carroll, who looks for a flag and doesn't get it. Tim Palau to boot it away for Miami. Gene Paul. And it may have been deflected. A very poor kick passing near midfield, taking a Miami hop, and it's down to the Alabama 43-yard line. Mike Smith might have gotten a hand on it. Worth out of the gun from the 48-yard line. A little roll to the right, has time, but then underthrows the intended receiver. Marco Battle trying to make it look like.
Of course, Alabama representing the SEC legendary program. This was the battle of the Titans.
From the 17 and hits Carroll very close to a first down. He is tackled by Charles Gardner, who is Howard Snellenberger there to get him started at the beginning of the decade, and then Johnson with great success.
Erickson
throwing, finding the team at the 42-yard line is Lamar Thomas, and he gets tackled at the 40.
Go that gangster.
Picking up the first down.
Lamar Thomas.
Mangum and Lee Osmond converge on the stop with 3 receivers. You're throwing the defense into man coverage. From the 40-yard line, it's Alex Johnson getting into Alabama territory, and he has the first down at the 41. And looking that way and throwing, and does he have the first down? He'll make the catch.
Real Hill.
But Ephraim Thomas comes up to
Real Hill.
Now you look at there, you say there's no way.
Real Hill.
Pick up the first down. Tremendous tackle by Thomas.
He was such an explosive athlete for Miami.
49-yard field goal.
Him and Kevin Johnson, man, they remind me so much of each other. Kind of like Santana Moss and Malachi Tony. That's what Real Hill remind me of. Intercepted.
At the 48-yard line by Farms, but there's a penalty marker as Farms brings it back to the Crimson Tide 41 and another flag. So 2 separate flags on the play.
Holding Miami. Personal foul, Miami.
The Hurricanes.
We already know how the refereeing going.
On 3rd and 3 from the 34. Hollingsworth throwing to the far side, but out of bounds was Craig Sanderson making the catch, but clearly on the strike. Doyle will line up to attempt this one from the 41, so a 51-yard attempt for Philip Doyle.
This 90 Miami Hurricane team was also a legendary team also. Yes, they won the national championship, but again, loaded with so much NFL talent.
The 80s was the Taylor decade, and the 90s will be the McCants decade of the NFL. From the 34-yard line, here's Erickson back to Carroll. Hits Carroll. There's a marker. Carroll at the 48.
Carroll was a great wide receiver. You know, unsung hero, don't get the name as the others, as Andre Johnson and Michael Irvin. Carroll was that guy also.
The catch is made at the 32-yard line by Randy Betzel. Second and 3. Here's to the left is Conley takes it, picks up the first down. He gets to the 15-yard line, loses the ball, but they're going to whistle it dead.
A lot of color, a lot of atmosphere. I guess, do we throw it up to the replay booth? Because clearly that's a fumble all the way.
That's a fumble.
You can see that thing pop out at third and a long 2 from the 7-yard line. Erickson back to throw out of the end zone. Intended for Dale Dawson.
Smart play.
Now Miami setting up to attempt a 25-yard field goal. Huerta with the ball to be spotted at the 15.
That's a Hurricane legend. Huerta, All-American. One of the greatest
major error. They had to
kickers in Miami school history.
Miami with a first and goal from the 3. Here's McGuire. McGuire crosses the end zone for a touchdown.
73, yeah. Alabama did kick the field goal. So Miami struck score first as far as the touchdown.
The 25-yard line, Hollingsworth. And he picks up the first down as he gets it out to the 36-yard line. 36-yard line. They set up.
Come up.
And Turner fighting his way out to the 48-yard line. And another turn-time first down.
With the quickness, he has the speed. You just witnessed it.
Of course, Chris Matai, even back then, 5 athletes all over the place. Great athlete.
Taking it to the 46. He comes up about 4 yards short, however, of the first down.
I'm not so much familiar with this
Any professional
Alabama team as far as specific names, but
Bill Smith.
trust me, it's the reason why they're in this game. As you can see, they got guys just flying all over the place.
He's going to be around a long time.
3rd down and 5. Pressure on Erickson, and he's forced to throw it away.
Yeah, they're bringing dogs on Erickson.
Kept the snap in the end zone. Gene Jelks to run it back. It's a wobbly line drive.
Get
Jelks
down
to the
there.
45 of Miami. Run out of bounds at the 37. So Alabama takes over.